is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
What's up, everybody? It's episode 137.
137.
I think that's the hottest I've came in. You know, I've ever really been like,
Hey, everybody, it's the show. Welcome to the Morning Zoo Crew. I'm Tyler. I'm Tyler.
and I'm the jackass.
Everybody's turned it off. We just got too hot. We came in too hot.
That's what I'd like to picture. What Shrek and Donkey would be like to have a fucking radio show, like a morning show. And I only say that because I went with Donkey. I don't know. My son is making that sound a lot, so that's what's he's learning the eon.
He's learning different words. It's
He's
fun.
learning shit.
Fun.
It's fun. Kids are cool. Have them.
He's almost figured out my name almost.
Well, these things take
Not
time,
important.
dude. You can't just master the English language right away. Okay? I can't even. I barely know the English language.
If it wasn't
lived
for
here my whole life.
if it wasn't for my thesaurus, I'd be fucked.
Well,
Hey, how long did it take us?
I don't have the time pulled up here. Let me
Well,
see.
why don't you pull it up and we'll see?
It was roughly about a minute and a half.
Well, fuck yeah.
Roughly, give or take.
Fuck yeah, we took a minute to swear. And even less than that to
And
sing.
if you don't like that,
it's your fault. It's your fault. Be mad at yourself.
because you knew what this show was.
Because you're T and B.
What is that? Well,
Touch and bust.
So Shannon Sharp is with us tonight.
yeah, we've got a bunch of new clips.
Yeah, I'm sure you're excited. I'm excited.
Well, this one, when you critique something, when you review something.
did we tell it's off panel, off topic, or did we?
Yeah, we did. 137. 137 episode. That's what it is.
Gotcha. I'm Jake.
Why did I say that? I'm Tyler. Figure that one out.
We don't have videos, so good luck.
So when I'm thinking about, when we critique things,
Yeah.
you have to really take into effect what is the
storytelling element
of the movie or the other book.
Of course, yeah.
That's from Eric July. Is it petty to make a drop of that? Yes, but it's still funny.
Well, don't play it again.
The storytelling element.
Oh, well, then, whatever.
It's fine. No, we'll just.
Why?
Wow. Who the fuck was that also?
We'll find out more of that one later. These are some Easter eggs for what's to come,
Okay. Well, so.
It is insane. It blows my mind.
Okay. So, so we have a
drops.
fucking packed fucking show. So let's get to the shit.
Tyler, I'll do the show how I want to do it, all right? Okay? You know why?
Why?
I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit
Oh,
from
you didn't
anyone.
record the whole. Oh, nice, good.
Or
I thought you recorded like the whole 30 seconds.
It's like a whole minute and a half. No, but I did get a shorter version for you,
And
too.
then he ends it with being
When
like,
people say
you
Jake-
also have a small penis. Like, wow, dude, who's he talking to?
You know what I say if you got a problem with me?
I'm ballsy.
And then I look at you straight in the face
Wow.
and I go,
The fucking music.
the music at the end.
So we found.
I want to end every single show with that. Like, come on.
We found a weird response from somebody or from Arnold to somebody, and
It was like a cigar thing.
it was something.
Like a
yeah,
show.
I don't know, but he was basically being like alpha Arnie to kind of coin the phrase that the alt right uses, alpha male type.
Mm-hmm.
Nonsense. Like, well, listen, my wife doesn't tell me because her father, turned me on. So what can she say? And it's just like, dude, are you really seriously in an interview talking about how
I prefer it when he has a serious cause to get behind.
Yeah, when he's just being a
Go,
douche.
Hagen, you got what you want. Give these people air.
And that was the the Martian Wars of 2016 that he really became.
He had a slogan about it. Like he said that we needed to help, we needed to intervene. He said,
"Get your ass to Mars."
Yeah. He kept saying that to us. He was broadcasting it daily from Mars. Not one of us heard him.
not a single soul. And
people think that Total Recall was a movie. It was a documentary, motherfucker.
All right. Anyway, so let's get to it. Let's talk about some shit.
Well, are we doing that?
Oh, fucking. Here we go.
You know, you could be a little more supportive.
I could if I liked what we do, man.
Well, you
I think,
offered.
I think this is this. You know what? We'll do it. Like we'll do it. I was stalling because I couldn't find the fucking music.
Also, I hate this.
Said hey. This is a really long intro.
What's it taste like? Salty or sweet?
All right. I have to save it for the. What's it taste like?
Because it's the best part of the song.
And then
so
I like that bed so much. It's always been our outro music too. That's how good it is.
It's a great.
You're
bed.
Talented, bro.
Thanks. You're talented, bro.
I love you.
Hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg.
Healthy male relationships with Mark Wahlberg.
Have you ever seen me dance in my underwear underneath the bridge? It was in a video. That's what he did.
It turned to like
That's
Fran
what the-
Drescher. Or Fran. Kind of what it sounded like. Hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg.
I was on the nanny. And now it's Martin Short playing an old woman.
Beautiful. Beautifully timed there. That's a professional. You know, some would say that that timing was.
I think my mic's turned up too loud. Brilliant. And the audience agrees. So,
come on.
are we doing? We have two things for what's in my mouth.
Yeah.
You're excited.
I fucking hate it. I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
I'm excited because
Okay.
I love these treats every Easter.
So I work at a big box store. We have some of these funky shits come out, and
As one does.
you know what? I just told the future because this is gonna be funky shit coming out. We have.
Crack cocaine.
How come I have to wipe 79 times? So Dr. Pepper flavored Peeps. You better make that a drop. How come I have to wipe 79? So do you want a whole row? Because there's.
I'm not gonna eat a whole row of fucking Peeps.
I'm gonna barely take a bite. I fucking hate.
Just take
Peeps.
one each.
I hate these things. But it was Dr. Pepper, and I thought
Dr. Pepper Peeps. They'll make Peeps.
I thought you liked the idea that they're this. Okay.
Well, they had a couple years ago. They had Pepsi flavored. Peep.
Well, they had blue.
Peep flavored Pepsi.
They had blue raspberry icy flavored ones that I didn't get those. Now here's the thing. I know you don't like this segment, but here's why it's important. No, I'm serious. Be serious for a moment.
Fuck you.
No, that's what you do though.
Oh well, that's for the rating.
It's important because if you don't understand that, I'm getting serious, but this is truth. If you don't understand how rampant and crazy products are and marketing and this rampant capitalism that we're going through, just go to the fucking store and see how many different things are out there. And there cannot be an audience for every one of those things. There just cannot be. And it's just ridiculous. How many...
You got to make everything political.
Well, fuck you then. So also...
it's true. It's kind of insane.
The
when
other
you think
part of
about it.
this is that I'm trying to make Jake puke on air, but I haven't found the one thing that's going to make him.
This is going to make me
The
crack.
shrimp chips were close, the smell.
No
of
matter what it is, I'll
eat your ass.
Wow. You know what? I'm touched.
I mean, no.
So it's.
I'm gonna eat this.
I'm gonna eat this instead of your ass.
I'm gonna. That's a drop.
They're gonna taste about as good. They're gonna taste about as good.
Ooh. Oh man, I'm vibing with it.
You are?
Yeah, man. I'm a peeps bitch all the way through.
You basic peeps, bitch.
Brilliant!
So are we doing ratings?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you're. I'm assuming you don't like it.
Yeah. You know what that one is.
I can't find it. I guess.
Fuck you. That's for you. And now do it for the peeps.
Fuck you!
I added some new drops and messed up the soundboard.
You fucking douche.
I'm a dumb bitch.
You dumb fucker.
Hey, peeps, keep doing what you're doing, baby.
I'll eat your ass.
Damn, that is a... You know what? If you want to add if you got the ooey on there, you can do that.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now in my mouth? I'm telling you.
Hey, I'm telling you, if you got that ooh-wee, I'm Mr. TMB. Touch and bust.
Thank God for that extra drop so we can tell what TMB means.
You know what it really is in my mouth right now?
Real fucked up, kind of bizarre combination of monkeys.
So, okay.
Nobody likes this segment but me. Because moments like that, they're going to last a lifetime.
When you're on the toilet later, it'll feel like it. So
Shit my brains out.
So somebody tweeted out today, is it bad that I sound like Chewbacca when I stand up because I'm getting older? And I tweeted back, I said, hey, at least you don't sound like R2-D2 when you poop. I know they could scream.
All right, what's next?
Fuck you. Did you get that as a drop yet?
Oh, let's do another thing that I got to do. Hey, whoa. What are you doing?
There's no top thing.
Come on. Yes,
What?
there is.
Where?
I'm looking right at it in the face.
Oh.
There it is. Sorry, everybody.
My bad.
You don't want to fuck up
It's
Oreos.
not very fucking clear, though.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
he was a great carpenter.
Sorry, Melanie.
Apologies to Melanie.
Apologies to your dad. Or whatever.
What? Okay. Give me a cookie.
See, now you're just being mean.
So now we got the Oreo Space Dunks.
Which again, we don't have
Come
enough
from space.
fucking flavors of Oreos. But this
Fuck
is
you.
This is interesting because it's got cosmic cream, which is basically different colored
That was my name in college.
cosmic cream.
How can you say that and not realize how ridiculous you sound? I got some cosmic cream.
Which is basically different flavored or different colored, vanilla shit. And then
Cream?
there's popping candy. So this is going to be
Pop
exciting.
Rocks. Kinda. Yeah, but it doesn't say Pop Rocks.
Now, how do you eat an
Teen.
Oreo? Because I saw you. I saw you were about to. Did you?
Well,
Do you just eat it? Like I just eat my Oreo. Like I don't.
yeah,
do
I usually
the,
just
I don't
eat it.
do
Sometimes
the,
I twist, but most of the time I'll dunk.
Sometimes a twist. Sometimes.
Oh no!
What?
My Oreo, it broke. I don't know where the other part. I can't eat it because it broke. And now Tyler's eating it. Put your mouth in the mic. Let the ASMR people let it. Give them a little taste.
It was louder a little bit ago.
That's what he
But
said.
Jake got the loose part of this fucking cookie.
A little bit. You can't really hear it. We're just killing time.
Deep throat the fucking microphones. Oh. So
My God!
well, our mouths are like, what? come on. You've all watched porn. Now listen.
You've all seen them.
Having sex with him.
Let's just go to the rating.
I'll eat your ass.
For sure. All day, 7 days a week.
All fucking day Space Dunk Oreo.
Oh, get it inside of me.
You're just looking at the Space Dunk Oreos. I want you inside me.
Sometimes I look at myself.
I mean, I'm gonna chew you and eat you.
Sometimes
I don't mean it like that, but I do want you inside me.
Every day we get further from God.
You know what? We're being misled by these damnable Dr. Pepper peeps and these decadent Space Dunk Oreos with their poppin' candy that just makes young people want to have sex.
I think it broke my brain. Ugh. All right.
I give it a big old wet kiss on the lips with the Space Dunk Oreos because goddamn those things. Wow.
I'll take one bite and I want to.
Finish it. Finish it.
I just love it. It's really good. You know, and here's the thing. I thought I was gonna not like the space popping candy, but let me tell you, when it starts popping in your mouth, it is so good. I mean, just pop, 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 pop in your mouth. It's over and over again. So many pops, just all coming out of your mouth. It's just amazing. You heard it. You heard it popping in our mouth. So, yeah, it was good. I loved them.
Touch and bless.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know how I even go where we go from here, but let's talk about X-Men 97.
Okay, so they came out with a comic book of this. Let's talk about our connection to the show because you have a stronger one.
Well, I wouldn't. I mean,
mine is shorter, so I'll quick.
Honestly, I wasn't like the show, the cartoon. I watched here and there.
Okay.
I was more of a Spider-Man kid, but I watched Wolverine and the X-Men, which came later. That was like 2007.
I remember that. That
was pretty good.
That's on Disney Plus. I got the comic of the first
yeah, and like I played I still
episode of X-Men 97.
I have a copy of
which was just X-Men the animated series at the time.
I have a copy of it, but I played the X-Men Legends video game.
Nice.
So that came a little bit later. So my connection to the X-Men doesn't necessarily start on this show.
No, I was talking about the show specifically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, but I do have an appreciation for it. Just like I haven't watched very many episodes of the Superman animated series.
Okay.
But the little bit that I have, I understand why people enjoy it and why people like it. So
I mean, I stem from like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. If that gives you any idea of like how far back I go, you know.
Yeah, it's how far back you go with Spider-Man and with the whole thing.
Well, it's just, I mean,
swing the
web. When I I mean, there was a Spider-Man live action movie or live action TV show in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you ever see those videos of the Japanese Spider-Man show?
Yes, which is
what a
fucking
gem.
incredible.
What a gem.
But it was crazy because they would just get this like stunt guy to slowly go up and down outside these buildings in a Spider-Man costume, and that was like the extent of the action scenes, almost. You know, like that was like, ooh, it's Spider-Man.
Whoa.
But when I was a kid, man, I fucking thought Spider-Man was real. Okay. Now, off topic a little bit, but
oh, come on.
Back in the day, there was all these like ads you can get like in the 70s and early 80s, these ads for like these products that you can get like Mego, I think it was Mego, dolls. They were action figures, but they were like, you know, 10 inches tall or whatever, and they had like clothes that you could, you know, actual clothes and shit. And some of them actually had hair and what they're collector's items now. But like t-shirts and all these other things. And there was this thing you could get, and it was a Spider-Man web shooter. And I, in my naivete, thought that you could get something to put around your wrist that would shoot Spider-Man webs, like actual, like thwip and like, you know, do it. Oh, you know you got to.
Swing a web.
Like seriously, like that I would be able to like climb buildings and like, you know, shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, I had no idea that it was something. It was this plastic doohickey piece of shit that hooked onto your wrist, and then it was
just, like, shot
it was
darts?
a disc. It was a disc that looked like a web coming out of the. You know what I mean? So you would shoot.
Well, yeah,
like
we had
a web.
There's the dart ones, and then we also had the silly string ones.
Right. Us being adults, you know that, right? But I was a kid, and like, you know, so I mean, shit, there was a time when I thought that shit was real. But my connection to X-Men 97 is I just got that comic book, and I did watch the first episode, and I remember being really impressed by how dark they went for a kids show.
Yeah.
Cuz doesn't Morph die in the first episode?
Yeah, something like that. Like there's something
He doesn't actually, but he does.
because he shows up late.
Yeah,
He shows
yeah.
up in this show,
Right.
but I don't know.
But
It's been
that-
such a
yeah.
long time, and that's honestly the thing is I thought this trailer was really fun. I
Yep.
think it's going to do a really good job of understanding its audience, but also still trying to appeal to a younger audience. Like I still think it's going to be a little bit more adult, but I think it's going to be like PG-13. I don't think it's going to be, if that, you know. I don't think it'll be too hardcore or anything like that. And I love committing to that 90s style and finding a way to make it look more modernized and give it like that high def coat of paint and still looking like a show what I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, that era of that 90s era.
It's got the same animation and everything, yeah.
Because it's very similar. That was just the time. Like the Spider-Man show also has that certain kind of tinge to it. They all do, and that's kind of the beauty of the animation is how they look. And yeah, I think it looks great, and I can't wait to see it. And it really does make me want to go back and watch the old.
Do you know
episodes.
how many episodes there's going to be?
I can pull that up, but because I'm pretty sure it's like
I don't think we have a lot coming
A
up to review soon. So
I would not mind watching it.
Why don't
weekly.
we? I mean, why don't we make a review?
Because I know it's coming out in March, but I
Yeah.
don't know the exact date. I'm pulling it up right now, but I think it was fun, and I know enough about those characters from comics and games and stuff. Actually. Funny enough, how this stuff works, and we've talked about it on the show. March 20th is when it premieres.
Okay.
I don't know how many. Jeez, I don't know how many episodes. I'm so excited for the X-Men.
Doc, are you telling me
Doc,
you made a time machine out of a DeLorean? You're welcome.
exactly.
Time machine out of a DeLorean? I didn't realize I could do.
Yeah.
Sit down, Tyler.
I just know it premieres-
said that was any good. Shut up, Tyler. All right. Okay. Sorry, I was a producer.
What happened, man?
What happened to the producer who
Well,
watched
Tyler.
over our show and told us not to sing? Well, fuck that fucking guy. I fired his ass. All right.
What?
Or should
You're
I say,
out.
or should I say the door is over there?
Come on. We said we'd stop singing so much.
Yeah, that's why I fired him. He told me that I couldn't.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's what I said to him when he put out that memo. No more singing. I was like,
I don't know.
I literally went into his
I
office
couldn't find it.
with
Let me
your
move on.
phone.
Jeez
and I
Louise.
played this
Stop
at-
it. Stop it.
I played that.
You're
at
making this
him.
harder for me to edit, you prick. So I have to cut all this shit out.
Oh, so I guess you're still working with that producer. That's fine. What's the...
Anyway,
Yeah, sure.
this is bad. This is horribly off topic. X-Men 97 is what I was trying to talk to you about. I could not find an episode count.
Ah,
I just know it premieres March 20th.
okay.
I'm assuming it'll be like the first 2 episodes. It's usually what they do.
I was thinking more of a total episodes, but
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I got you.
Okay. I looked it up. I couldn't find
hey,
it.
I looked it up. All right.
And I appreciate you trying to
Hey,
vamp.
bro. Do work.
Hey, bro.
I looked it up.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That wasn't very good.
You know, yeah. Well, I was like, I got another joke here, but so I found this thing called wheelofnames.com,
That sounds cool.
and you can just like put names into a wheel, and it randomizes it and it spins.
But-
We should do that for like impressions.
Okay.
You know, wheel of impressions.
Yeah.
Possible future.
I'd be
segment.
game. I'll bet you you're better at more of them than I am.
Son of a bitch. X-Men 97, by the way. Very exciting stuff. Of course, the best part about it was, in my opinion, was finding out that somehow Gambit can transfer his powers because, like, he
Oh, whatever.
transferred his powers to Wolverine's claws.
Fanboy.
If that didn't get your
Fanboy.
man, if that didn't get you fucking get your motor running, you ain't got a pulse, buddy. And you're in the wrong line of business.
man, you not have red blood pulsing through your veins.
Listen to me, buddy. If you don't believe that,
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage, Gaina.
beautiful. I need to get cream of the crop,
A rip,
and then I gotta get a little.
Pew pew quip. Pew pew quip.
Yeah. X-Men 97. What did you do?
Rip Macho
I'm
Man,
so
Randy
dis-
Savage. You know, I remember the first time I saw Macho Man.
I'm just excited.
X-Men
that,
97
but for
is-
me, it's a couple things. I think Marvel is really come out swinging with the Deadpool trailer, and then putting this out, and then we'll talk about it in a little bit later. But the stuff with the Fantastic Four, and like, this definitely feels like Marvel trying to earn some people's attention back.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have dropped off and stopped caring because
Well, look, the
and
last
we've talked
yeah.
about it for a while.
Mm.
Like post Endgame, that's just been the thing.
The past couple of years have been a kind of a mishmash of different ideas and different different stories going on, which is great. But you know, I watched Avengers this past weekend, and it's been 2 years since we did our retrospect, but it's still like such.
It's still a really fun movie.
Still a really good movie, but we can't be expecting any of that phase. What was that, phase 1 basically, right?
Well, yeah, because that would.
We can't expect that to happen again.
Yeah,
And people who think that the next like phase after Endgame or the post Infinity saga is going to be anything like that, you're barking up the wrong tree.
that was a once in a lifetime
Honestly,
or once in a
if,
generation style.
if
Like,
they ever reboot it and do it the same kind of way, but maybe do it in a different order or include different people they didn't have, you know what I mean? I don't know. It still will never be like that though, because
there's-
that was unprecedented.
there's a couple things that also speak to me. With Marvel as a whole, I'm excited that this is the first one that says Marvel Animation. So now again, we're getting more organized in what we're presenting to people, I think, with Disney Plus and how they're going to go forward with that. And I've been saying for years I've been begging Marvel to do the quality of animation that DC does for their original movies, and to see, I think this is, and we've been talking about it for a while. I think this is a step in the right direction. And again, I think from what I saw in that trailer, it looks interesting. It looks great. I want to do some homework and kind of watch the episodes and get caught up and kind of understand where it's going, because it's clearly a continuation of that show. And that's also something that's really cool. The fact that they're like, well, we can make a brand new X-Men show, but give it this like 90s nostalgia to it, right? But not be tied to that show at all. But the fact that they're doing a continuation of that show from the 90s, I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And really exciting. And the fact that we get Magneto being the new leader of the X-Men,
I'm pretty excited.
that's pretty crazy.
Well, Lego came out with a brand new set recently, and did I shame Lego about that set?
What?
About the $85 fucking X-Men 97 Lego set?
No.
That was like 500 pieces, and like had like 4 minifigures, of which we all have. We all have Wolverines and Cyclops and Magnetos. Okay, the Rogue was new. But honestly, Lego, shame on you. There's kids out. Now, if they're making that set for like collectors, like older people, who are like, remember that show and whatnot. Okay. But $85, you got to understand that people are on a budget, man. Come on.
I got to tell you, I was at a Target recently, and this is all retail stores because these stores don't set these prices.
No.
But like, yeah, there's some things that look really cool that the toys now are like way too expensive. Like toys are really, really expensive nowadays.
Dude,
But
real quick to top this off, just because
we keep getting off.
I know, but real quick,
I want to get on.
There's a Marvel Easter basket, like one of those shitty fucking manufactured things that's all wrapped in plastic and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's $20, $19.99. And you know what it consists of? It consists of like 4 really shitty, throwaway fucking plastic pieces of shit that are presumably toys. There's probably no candy in it, but because they had likenesses of these characters, they're able to charge $20 fucking for this shit. And this fucking poor fucking parent who can't afford it is going to be walking by with their kid, and the kid's going to be like, can't live without it. And the parent can't explain to that kid, you don't need it. You literally don't, because it sucks.
Will you get off your dang soapbox?
I'm just saying, man, fucking shame on you and everything. You have different fucking baby wipes. The baby doesn't know his ass is getting wiped by something plain or with Elmo on it. Fuck you.
Hey, can you
Sorry.
seriously? Can we just
Well,
talk
come
about the
on.
damn show?
No,
please. You always got to go off on these fucking
Damn
tangents,
it. Well,
man.
it bugs me. Our society is
I
really
feel like
stupid.
I'm fucking in the middle of the Big Lebowski right now.
Don't even get me started on fucking dude wipes. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
Oh, can we? Come on.
Let's do it.
Let's move.
Let's move it.
It on. So, X-Men 97.
Taking it.
A lot of
to
people are
the
excited about it.
street.
We are. I wish we would.
Finish the goddamn segment.
Yeah.
Well, we're done now, Mr. Glasses.
But now some people are upset with this coming out. Believe it or not.
Do tell.
Before I even want to get into it,
Yeah.
I want to talk about.
You know why I was just all upset about something? Because I knew we were gonna get into it with these fuckers, man. Fucking hate these guys.
Yeah. Well.
I don't hate
I'm
them.
ballsy.
I'm just really disappointed by them as human beings.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about some people's thoughts on X-Men, and it's not necessarily the trailer itself. The trailer itself, a lot of people, including some people, actually, I don't think one of these guys, Eric July, talked about it before. But the other ones, they seemed pretty excited about it, and then immediately made content to bitch about it. And it wasn't even anything in the trailer.
No, you don't say.
So the big problems that stem from this, the clips we're going to have are Geeks and Gamers, Melanie Mack, Tyrone Magnus making his first appearance on the Griff Report, and Eric July. So the story is that Morph, the shape-shifting character, is coming back and is going to be non-binary. I want to reiterate that this is a shape-shifting character.
Yeah.
A character that can be any gender, any person they want to be. Of course, they're non-binary. It's not even anything with the sexual orientation. It's like it just makes sense that wouldn't identify. You know what I mean?
You know what's great about this though? This is absolute proof that these fuckers are grifters. You want to know why?
Why?
Where the fuck were they during Gen V? Nowhere.
They didn't talk about it.
They didn't talk about it at all. That was way more offensive if you want to talk about offensiveness.
Well,
not to me,
I said
but to those fucks.
I said it on Twitter.
Yeah.
It doesn't make money for them.
Yep.
It flew too close to their own audience.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
And they hate to admit how good that show is mocking them.
Yes. So fuck off, man. I mean,
because that's what a good satire does.
Yeah.
And that's why these people.
But that's what I mean.
Every person in this, I truly hope, is grifting. Otherwise, they're really stupid
or horrible.
So
human
I'd like
beings,
to think
or horrible human beings.
I'd like they're clearly not stupid because they know how to make money off this. So I don't think these people are stupid by any means.
Far from it.
But
They're smarter
if you
than we are,
truly
'cause we don't know how
believe
to make
this, you
money.
need to like reevaluate how you engage with this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna throw around the word media literacy because everybody gets in a fucking tizzy about
I don't
that
even know
when
what
you
that
say
is. Social media
it.
literacy.
Media literacy is just being like how you can understand a movie. And
You
understand
fucking
themes
watch
and
it?
storytelling.
Yeah, you watch it.
Exactly.
You-
So that's why I don't
That's how I
I
understand.
don't really
it.
want to use that term. I'm just saying like I'm not telling you how to engage with it. I'm just saying how you're engaging with it.
So-
Just don't bother touching it or talking about it if you truly feel that way. Because why you and I were talking about it before we started recording. It just to me makes it seem like you're a really miserable person if you just fucking hate everything. And I'm not saying you have to like everything.
No.
We were just critical of the MCU just a little bit ago.
Yep.
Like, you don't have to like everything, but to call everything woke and make... For the people that say you don't want everything to be political, you intentionally make things political
Yep.
because it makes you money.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's really sad, man. Then what do you do for fun?
I'm just
Because it
disappointed.
just sounds boring.
I'm just disappointed in all of them. I'm just so disappointed
And
in
this
them
whole
as
shtick-
human beings.
This whole shtick to
It's
me
just-
is
Money is more.
Boring.
Yeah, money is more important to you than like human life, because all of your rhetoric that you're making money off of is hurting real people, and you don't care. And based on the fucking comments that come onto our videos about these types of things, you've gotten a lot of people to think this way, or you've gotten people who already thought it this way to come out of the woodwork and to be bold about this thinking, which is wrong because it's inhuman. How you talk about other humans, it's really bad. And like, I don't understand, like, you guys call us soy boys and cucks and simps, right? Well,
you beta cuck.
yeah, I never watched a
Beta.
I never watched a YouTube video and completely changed my fucking personality.
I've never seen one minor detail about a character, like a character being non-binary.
Yeah.
And make like
And lost
three
my shit.
Eric July made 3 fucking videos
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Not that specifically, but he used it to grift on his bullshit fucking X-Men video he made years ago.
Of course.
But he says like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it," but makes 3 fucking videos about it.
Yeah, of course.
And it's the same shit. If you and by the way, you don't get to call anybody a snowflake if you see a trans flag in a movie like Melanie Mack did and say you're not going to watch a movie. You don't get to call anybody weak or or a fucking snowflake. You just can't. If you're that scared of a little thing that is just there in the background.
Yeah.
I just saw today on Twitter, Heel versus Fuckface made a tweet about, "Oh, I just want to get some groceries," and he's pissed off that there's pride flags. And it's like, just get your fucking groceries, you big baby.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who
I
cares?
mean, you
And I just want to drive that home.
Yeah.
If you truly believe that, I'm going to continue to mock you.
Yes.
I'm not even mad anymore. I think it's fucking
Well,
funny.
no.
I told you when I was editing these
Yeah,
clips,
it's-
I was just laughing because if you really engage this way with this stuff, then stop engaging with it because you clearly don't understand it. And I'm not saying
and
that
you're engaging with it to make money,
Yes.
not to really truly bring about any discourse about any real problems. You're just following the bullshit that just
Also,
just so
also
fucking
X-Men
irritating.
has it's never been woke before. Despite the fact that the entire identity of this series has been dealing with people that are oppressed.
You know, the whole drug storyline that they did in the 70s that was almost banned by the Comics Code. That would have been called woke back in the 70s. You fucking cocksuckers.
Are you talking about because the legacy virus was that was like a
No, they did a story where like Storm visited a crack house or a heroin. den or something.
but even still they did
Claremont and Byrne. Look it up.
and that's another thing Eric July brings up later is like, well, Stan Lee didn't intend that. Everybody when they talk about X-Men like that, they talk about Claremont as if like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well then.
That's what those characters became.
Yeah. Not my fault.
But we'll address that later. Let's address the Morph stuff. So first, Jeremy John's different YouTuber. Jeremy Griggs with Geeks and Gamers, he decided to post a video This one is titled X-Men 97 is already ruined by Disney wokeness. And he's talking about the Morph.
Is that a new kind of chip? Disney wokeness?
Disney wokeness. Okay. You got that wokeness dip?
Hey, listen, you know what? I'm not going to eat those Tostitos unless you have some wokeness dip.
Wokeness dip.
Wokeness dip, mama chip, make them nachos really kick.
But anyway, so again, he's complaining about Morph. I cut out the part where he describes the character bio because I pretty much told you that's all that they're really going off of is that Morph is non-binary in the show. But here's what Jeremy says about.
Is this a dumb
X-Men
British
97.
dude? Yeah,
No,
really
this
loud
is
British dude. Oh,
no, that's Heel versus Babyface.
oh.
You know, a lot of people looked at this and said, hey, man, I'm really looking forward to this. This looks great, yada, yada, yada. Totally understood. Totally understood. But we got a little bit of an issue suddenly because this is how it goes with Disney. The moment that, you know, you see something you're maybe a little bit excited about and boom, done. See you later. It's over.
That little pause. Was
That's exactly
Time out,
what
time out.
they do.
Real quick, that little pause there was him describing Morph, by the way.
Real quick, hang on.
Let me just finish the clip. It's almost over.
Retweeted this. Simply put, fuck this show. Again,
What a
it's
baby.
Disney. What do you expect? For those that are excited about X-Men 97, don't let me rain on your parade. Go for it. Be excited for it. Love it. Have at it. I've been through this way too many times with Disney and Hollywood and all of this. And there was some nostalgia bait in that trailer for sure. And I don't have a problem with nostalgia as long as it's nostalgia for the right reasons and not meant to pull you in so that they can then
As
push
long as
their
it's
nonsense.
white nostalgia.
No, it was the best part of the end. Lure you in, then push their nonsense.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're thinking at Disney is how can we fucking ruin Jeremy's fucking day, you fucking jackass.
Why
you
can't-
self-absorbed fucking jackass.
You know,
Jesus Christ.
Disney and Lucasfilm really need to just sit down and think, why haven't we ever thought about appealing to straight white men? We never had that idea ever. Ever.
Why aren't we looking to the colonizers for heroes, ideas for heroes? Why aren't we looking towards the oppressors?
How ridiculous would it be that a character that can turn into any person,
Yeah.
gender, any gender, would be obviously
Or even a animal,
they,
I think.
them.
Can they do an animal?
a they them because that's the most proper way to refer to them. It's not that this is what I love. And he openly said this on one of their podcasts, one of their streams. He said that they take something, they spin a narrative out of it.
Yeah.
That is prime there.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean,
So that, honestly, that has to be it. Otherwise, are you insane?
you clearly don't have any non-binary friends
And you
because
don't understand
it's pretty easy, actually.
the X-Men.
Yeah.
Do not
Yes.
ever let people like Eric July control that narrative that it was never about social justice. Even if Stan Lee didn't think that was happening, here's the context. He wrote that shit in 1963. Can you think of something that was going on in
Jeez, what was going on
1963,
in
around that time?
1963? Gosh, I couldn't even think about
Now
it.
you
The
can
civil rights movement?
By the way, you can argue against the whole
Sure.
Xavier is MLK and Malcolm X would be Magneto. You can have that argument.
Which is also, if you
don't care.
read about either one of them, you would know that that's a false narrative too.
It is, and that's why I don't buy into it.
Right.
And on that level, I will say this: when we get to Eric July, I agree with him on that because I don't think Magneto and Malcolm X are. No, I don't buy that shit. But I'm just saying.
Well, it's
it's
a lazy way of
whether Stan Lee thought about that or not. That is what was interpreted, and he himself and Eric July has used this as some kind of way to support his narrative.
Eric.
Of the fact that like, oh, well, I didn't think about it, but that's what art is, you know? I guess that's what it became. Because people, that's how they interpreted the story he was telling. And maybe, just maybe, the things that were happening to him, a guy who had commented about racism at that time already, would not be inspired by that idea of social injustice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And over time, of course, there were queer stories that got worked into it because X-Men has always been an interpretation of the oppressed. And what happens, like, what happens is they try and think that I just don't. You cannot tell me that you cannot see that. It might not be out front and in your face, but like, there's no X-Men has never been subtle about what it is.
No.
Ever.
No.
But you still have people like Melanie Mack who claim that like things like Morph are the problem, and saying that queer people don't deserve to have. Listen to her opinion that queer people didn't have any claim to X-Men.
Okay, this looks like it was meant to appease the old school 90s
She's talking about the trailer.
cartoon X-Men fans, right? Wrong. It's a bait and switch. They have absolutely no validity. The whole queer cult.
Kind of like you and your Christianity, a bait and switch.
I'm oppressed, oh poor me. And so they want to piggyback off of what black people went through in the past, which, mind you, I don't think these days that racism is a widespread issue in the U.S.
Good God. Tell me you are a straight white woman in America without telling me
you are a straight woman, white woman in America.
She also had a tweet about
What a fucking bubble fucking thing to say. What a fucking I've never been outside my fucking bubble ever thing to say. You fucking got, oh my God. You,
when did like, okay, when I can't even get it through my head right now, because this is, again, either these people have to be grifting, or they really just cannot distinguish. Like, they're trying to accuse people like us by saying, like, lumping gay people in with black people, and as if there's some sort of some sort of oppression Olympics.
No, this is what Melanie Mack literally said. She said they're trying to lump in this with what black people went through in the 60s, which, as a white woman, I can assure you, who never lived through that time, it was not that bad.
It's not a problem today.
It was not that bad.
White supremacy.
And it isn't anymore.
White supremacy runs rampant on Twitter.
Oh, hot.
Runs rampant on Twitter thanks to Elon Musk, and like still a lot of hate crimes in the world, but racism isn't a problem.
You're disgusting. You are such a fucking fake fucking Christian. You fucking hate. You hate. You can't be a Christian and hate. You fucking hypocrite. I mean, Jesus. Literally. Jesus would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You know what's
Using
wrong
my
is
name to hate?
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you? And he would say hell. You would make him so mad that he would swear.
She goes on later to talk about this. By the way, her video and Jeremy's video are remarkably short in content when actually talking about Morph. And they really talk about X-Men 97 being woke. Like, Jeremy plays a long clip of Bob Iger, and Melanie fucking goes on a weird tangent about Laura Croft not being hot enough.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, is this how they, like, she was saying how April O'Neil was ugly because she wasn't, she's
got to get that grift of, like, bitching about, I can't jerk off to this character. You know what I mean? But anyway, she had
Melanie Mack. So
hold on. Let me move on.
Gotcha.
Like, I want to get to this point. She had a tweet about X-Men 97 saying, the X-Men were not queer. You can't create anything worth a toss, so you try to corrupt what already exists, just like Satan himself. And I tweeted, I left out me, but I said, tell me you don't know shit about the X-Men without telling me you don't know shit about the X-Men.
Oh, I retweeted the shit out of that one.
Because truthfully, like, I don't know how you can think that. So she tries to defend this tweet in this next clip.
That's the fact of the matter. Mm-hmm. That's just where we're at. How every time they try to make all these queer shows and stuff, they don't succeed. For the most part, they don't succeed. There's very rare exceptions. Like, I think Brokeback Mountain might have done well back in the day. There are very rare exceptions of that. And so because they can't create new queer stories that would be worth
that
anything,
you would fucking bitch about. Do not. I'm time out. Time out. No.
How many gay stories since Brokeback Mountain?
Time out. These chuds, these fucking people, do not get to say this. Because you could say that, and then you would immediately, if you could make money out of it, complain. And be like, they're brainwashing our kids with the gayness. The scary, spooky gayness. They're making all your kids trans.
Which has nothing to do with sex until you guys
take
make
that.
it make it
So,
about
Melanie,
sex.
take that argument and shove it up your ass.
Thing because it wouldn't. They want to hijack everything that had already existed prior and try to act like, oh, this was always queer. Oh, it's bullcrap. It is bullcrap. Like I said, just like Satan himself, you want to corrupt what already exists because Satan can't create. He can only corrupt what already is there. And it's the same thing. And this isn't a coincidence because queer ideology, all of that LGBT stuff, it is not of God.
Again.
So based on what she said, she is Satan because Satan can't create. She can only corrupt. I've never seen anything that Melanie Mac has created. Have you? Out of thin air, out of whole cloth, just created something out of nothing. No, she's made her money and her bones off of complaining about shit that already exists. So literally, you just defined yourself as Satan. Satan is Melanie Mac. Thanks, Melanie Mac. Did you hear that huge clue she just gave us? Thank you. Now we don't have to listen to her ever again.
Yeah. Well, you know you're fucking.
You know we're gonna.
Because it would make... It's the perfect crime.
It's the perfect crime. No, but that's hilarious because you literally just described yourself.
It's just
described yourself.
Again, if you have to... I don't know, man. I truly think she has, like, some really weird, angry, bigoted views about gay people and trans people. Like, it is weird.
She's had something
like,
happen
all
to her
joking
in her
aside,
past.
There's
I don't know.
I don't want to speculate.
I
but,
do not either. No.
But I just
hope she gets some psychiatric or therapy or something.
I don't.
But trying to take it out on like every single gay person is not the way to solve whatever is going on inside and whatever hurt that you may have been caused. I don't know. But that's not Christian either.
To be throwing around the F slur as much as she does,
dude,
and talk the way that she does about gay people, and like it's just fucking weird. It's weird, bigoted. I'm
going to speculate. She was engaged to be married once, and then right before the marriage,
she was married. But I don't want to get into that.
The guy was like, "I'm gay," and now she hates gay people.
Maybe not. Who knows? Some people just hate people. I don't know. Yeah. Fuck it. All right, different angle to bitch about X-Men 97. I know we got a lot of clips. We're trying to get through this, people. This is most of the episode, to be honest. Tyrone Magnus, who is a popular YouTuber, he's got over 1 million subscribers. He's never been on this show before. Wow. He's a guy that got really popular back in the day when like React videos were just becoming a thing. Like he would just react to trailers. And then he kind of evolved his content, and then I don't know where along the way, I've never been subscribed to him, but somewhere along the way, he really has been leaning into the anti-woke shit. So much so that he said he did not, and made a whole like couple video, like 2 or 3 videos about it, talking about how he didn't take his fiance to Disney because it's woke. To Disneyland. This man is your age, by the way.
Did she want to go?
Yes.
So he's a dick, and he's also a controlling dick.
How old are you?
I'm 48.
He's your age. So, like, I think he said he's 48. Again, I don't really follow his content, but every so often I see one of these videos pop up. And
part of being married, buddy, is that you're gonna have to like do things that you don't.
Fiance,
I think. I know, but you're gonna get married, and that's not a good sign for his fiance. I mean, it's just not.
I can't go.
She wants to go to Disney, and instead of being like, "Of course, sweetie, let's do that."
And why would you share that with the world? But that's not what we're talking about here today.
I don't think he's engaged. I think she's fake.
Now, I do want to say that this is clearly meant to have some.
I'm engaged.
Can we talk about the video?
No.
Come on.
No.
So, he talks about Rogue's ass. This is what this video is about.
It's a cartoon.
There's a little humor to this.
Okay.
But, there's a thing going around the internet that her ass was bigger and more voluptuous in the 90s one.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
And this one, her ass didn't look that great in that trailer. This is what we're talking about. This is a man that is your age. Here's clip number 1. And at one point he talks about how like there's going to be kids that watch this, but so there's got to be like a balance to make these things, hot enough for him to jack off to, but not make kids too excited. He didn't say that, but he might as well have. It's kind of weird. No, I'm just kidding. But he starts off bitching about what Melanie Mac's been bitching about, that women are getting uglier in our media.
I find it really strange these days because recently they've been de-beautifying, if you will, the female characters in fiction. I've noticed that. It's strange to me because shouldn't a woman's beauty be celebrated? Shouldn't a woman's curves be celebrated? They're part of her beauty. Many women are curvy. Women have curves. A lot of women have curves. So I don't understand what's wrong with that. By the way, they're not de-beautifying the men, it seems.
The dudes are still hot.
I mean, these guys still have muscles. You know what I'm saying? In these games and shows and stuff. So the men still have muscles, but the women can't have curves. Why?
Why is he? So that's where I got that from.
Why?
He clearly didn't watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie because, the newest one. Because Melanie Mac was pissed about how curvy.
Oh, he probably bitched about that too.
Did he, you think?
Yeah, probably. He probably said the same thing. I don't know. I didn't look at it.
Because he's talking about curves, and that was one of the things that...
To think that this dude, and good on him for making a living, but like that he like sat down and said, I want to make a video to talk about this character's ass.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, he's a humorous guy. You can tell he's got a little bit of humor to him.
Sure.
And by the way, all these clips I have edited. I cut them down to try and get to the gist of what they were saying.
Right.
If you really want the full context, I will let you. I'll put the link.
No, what I'm
you
guessing.
can go look at their videos. I'm not.
I actually kind of deciphered it a little bit. What he means by curves are big tits and a nice ass.
I mean, let's
just say that then. Just fucking
Tyler,
say
we
that.
We gotta focus on what.
Go for it.
What are the facts here?
Whatever.
Many women are curvy. Women have curves. A lot of women have curves.
I'm aware.
Women have curves.
Yeah.
But again, the video itself is pretty like jokey and stuff, and I got the guy that has a sense of humor. But like, this is such a weird video because on one hand he's kind of having fun with it, but then he says things like this, and it's like, that's not. I even cut out a part where he complains about the Horizon video games and how they somehow uglified the main character, which they didn't. But it's so silly to even think about getting worked up about this. And I'm not saying he wants to jerk off to this. I'm just making a joke. Because I don't even think Melanie Mac believes in masturbation. So I doubt she's diddling herself to this. But
wow.
What, was that too harsh?
No. We've been way harsher than that.
It was a little blue.
Just talking about,
But I'm not saying...
We're just talking about flicking the bean, okay?
Exactly. I'm not saying that these people want to do that for the characters. I'm just saying as a whole, it's kind of weird. Is it not? Is it not weird to bitch and moan about a character being non-binary when they're a shapeshifter?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird to kind of think about this cartoon character's ass, who you even talk about will be seen by kids? So then this next clip is him trying to explain what the impact it could be if it's too sexualized on a young person. And the weirdest possible anecdote I've ever heard. And I don't know what to make of it.
I had a girlfriend that told me one time, she said, because I was talking about the whole thing about when you're younger and there's like these feelings you don't understand when you see.
Why is this a conversation you're having with someone? It's kind of weird.
Something, and she was like, I remember seeing certain guys on TV when I was young and feeling warm down there and not understanding what was actually happening and why I felt this way. So I think there's a way to keep from stimulating younger humans in that way, and also showing a woman and a man in their natural, state. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I don't know what you're saying. And this is
You're trying to control when any specific human like sexually awakens, whether they know it or not. You can't
just
fucking do it, dude. Look, the first time.
Okay, if that conversation did happen, there was nothing wrong with what she said. Like and I don't think
absolutely not.
I don't
Are
think
you kidding me?
I don't think he's portraying it that way. But like you're saying, like exactly what you're saying. Sorry, I cut you off. But like, yeah, the whole. Why would anybody get control over when you become sexually aroused? Like, that's so weird.
No. What I'm saying, like, I mean, I knew like when I was like 6 or 7, like I had like a thing where like I was, you know, rubbing my bed or whatever, and like I didn't ejaculate because I was far too young to have that. But I think you know what I mean. Like that's
you're experimenting. It's.
I'm saying
I don't
like just fucking let me finish this one thing. Okay? I was not sexually awakened or aroused. I was fucking 7, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about her being sexually aroused because that's not what she's saying. She's saying that like me, yes, like you were saying when you came in, I was experimenting. I was figuring my own. We probably all had moments like that when we were far too young. And no, we all have to have those moments. I think to have healthy sexuality later on in life.
But to have that conversation,
absolutely not talking about
based on 2 screenshots.
Yeah,
and saying like we got to make something hot, but not hot enough that kids will get aroused by it. Like that's such a weird thing to say.
And why? Yeah, and
I don't want to make it clear. I'm not accusing him of anything. I just think the whole thing, this whole video is weird. It's a weird thing. And it just, again, shows you that this is what they're doing. They got to make money. They got to find a way to bitch about this popular thing.
Now, let me address one thing really quick. There was a little bit of a time when things were kind of shifting. There was a particular artist who was kind of accused of doing like the super boob. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was just a shapeless, like just. We've talked about this on the show. I can't remember the artist's name. It's a female artist, but there was kind of there is a more realistic direction in comic art now. That when I was growing up, it was all, you know, Amazon physiques. It was fucking tight buns, small waist, big tits. You know, I mean, and it was guys in spandex with fucking, you know, I mean, like 97 abs because they got, you know, everything going on. You know, it's just not realistic, right? It's not realistic. And there has been a shift towards more realistic depictions of heroes and other characters in comics, which means just like not every woman is built like a fucking Amazon, neither now are some of these. Like Wasp is like noticeably shorter and more buxom because she's always been kind of looked at. She's always been kind of described in the comics as very, very like she's very very sexy, you know. But you know, things like that, they just, you know, they just changed that. And yes, I get the criticism, but at the same time, it's like, what do you? There's so many things to jerk off to in this world. Why are you relying on X-Men 97?
And if you're not, and you're complaining about it, weird.
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's move on to our final thing. Again, this is taking up almost the whole show. We're gonna talk about Eric July. So Eric July back in
Fantastic Four.
Back in 2019 made a video in response to a History Channel article about the civil rights inspiration behind the X-Men and the allegory of Professor X and being MLK and Malcolm X being Magneto. Or even I don't agree with that, but he talks about that in that video, and I didn't bother to do the research because his whole arguments make me laugh. So he in his video, like his third video about this topic, really tripling down on the idea that X-Men was never meant to be about the social justice stuff and be woke. And again, I will grant it and say that yes, Stan Lee said initially it wasn't that. And Eric July himself talks about how he says that art change, people perceive arts in certain ways. But there's no denying that isn't what the X-Men became. X-Men was always like that, even in issue number 1 with Magneto. In fact, Eric July was so mad about the comparison with Magneto to Malcolm X, he inadvertently explained why, yes, X-Men is woke.
For well over a decade with those original X-Men books. That never was a thing. Magneto was as cutthroat of a villain as you could possibly be. I mean, from the number 1 issue, from that X-Men issue number 1, he was talking about how mutants were superior to humans, and he wanted to rule over them. He was a supremacist through and through, and he was an evil son of a gun.
Dude, how is that not woke? By your standards, by your own standards, how is that not woke? So you can't tell me that it's not woke, but also, if that were made now, say it was woke. Mm-hmm. Because obviously Magneto's the villain because he's a supremacist, like you just said. Doesn't that sound woke to you? By your standards, by your definition?
What's going on is that all of these guys they've made a lot of money and they've made a lot of content and they've made a lot of stuff, and the way that they've been able to get successful and stuff is that they're very black and white. They have a code. They have granted, the line keeps shifting. They'll keep moving the goalposts as long as they need to. Understand?
Yeah, to keep making their money.
Of course, and as things get more and more accepted, and whatnot. But I just think they're just. You want to be so black and white about everything, and real life is not black and white. It really, rarely is.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only time real life is black and white is when you're sitting at a red light and it turns green and you're the first one. You should go.
Yeah.
That's pretty black and white, cut and dried.
So
no gray area there.
When Eric is wrapping up this video,
sure,
he has a freak out about this.
About what?
The idea that there was any sort of like civil rights stuff and allegories with the LGBTQ community and things like that. He just like the way that this guy just doesn't get stories. I just don't think he understands stories.
What did this whole hero is not liked by public, or groups of people aren't liked by public, therefore civil rights? Where did that come from? Because it's like, even with like something like the Doom Patrol, like this is something that has been just in general storytelling has been a thing for centuries, man. I have no idea why they think that that's somehow unique to trying to fight homophobia or trying to fight racial injustice. It is insane. It blows my mind. Like, that's not anything that's unique to black people or unique to gay people. There's been a storytelling element, for quite literally centuries.
Did he not understand the things that he was saying?
I mean, as recently as like, when did black people get the right to vote in America? You're telling me that stories of black people and other oppressed groups rising up have been popular in the world for centuries?
Because slaves and as long as
maybe 50 years.
As long as human beings have created have had society and civilizations, we have had classes. That's just how we exist.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's shitty. That's just how life has been for as long as we've been alive. So of course, and what he gets so frustrated about is hilarious to me. Where he's like, it's not just black people or homophobia or things like that. Exactly. That's the point.
Yes.
Why do you think people connect with X-Men?
Yes.
Because it's about all of us. Even though it's obviously centered it's more of an allegory for people that have been oppressed, but it is a great story about all of us and understanding what it means to be human. And to think, but him to get upset that people attached it to civil rights because of the time it was written and because like he talks about with Claremont adding in the fact that Magneto is Jewish and was there in the Holocaust. That was like everything that's what also drives me crazy. He tries to be this purist about Stan Lee. Let's be honest about Stan Lee. I'm not going to piss on the man's legacy. He did amazing things for Marvel. He's done amazing things for comic books. He's one of the best creators to ever live. But he wasn't the best writer. And everybody that reads X-Men would argue that X-Men got to where it is now and has the identity it is because of Claremont.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And everything. And then he even talks about that, saying like, all that stuff came later. And trying to say like, well, it didn't start as this. That is absolutist talk. And that is silly when these characters have existed since the fucking 60s, man. And like, there's been a joke around I'm going off here, but with the Fandom Initiative stuff, there's been jokes about him not understanding multiverses. I really don't think he does. I really don't think he understands like this stuff. He tries to claim he does, but then he acts like he acts like what Stan Lee said in the 60s is law. That is what the X-Men are. Even though everybody argues the X-Men got better with other writers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't make much sense.
It's fucking crazy. Like, why even die on this hill, dude? For what? It's just silly to me.
Yeah.
All of this is silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, a couple other things we wanted to talk about before we get out of here today. Knock my mic.
Jesus.
So Fantastic Four on Valentine's Day released their picture, which was a really cool poster.
Yeah.
Like a 60s style looking team. And Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joe Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm.
Mm-hmm.
All rumored. All
Eben
came true.
was in Andor.
Right, yes. That and the bear.
When we were talking about it off the air, I actually didn't finish the thought because we started talking about something else where we made a funny song up.
You know, as we do.
As we do.
Just a couple of guys.
Just cutting it up.
But yeah, so we talked about this a couple months ago. This was rumored for a while, and it finally came true. I think Pedro is an interesting choice to me. I don't know how I feel about it. I think he'll do great. I don't think he'll...
Reed is commonly, depicted as a guy who's not completely devoid of charisma, but he can be cold in his calculatedness because he's so smart. He can come off as cold.
Yeah.
But he's also got a certain charisma and a certain sort of charm. Obviously, look, Sue Storm is one of the baddest ass women in the Marvel Universe. She's smart, confident, and she could lead any super team. She could lead the Fantastic Four herself. And so you have to have a guy who realistically would attract a woman like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know Joe Quinn.
Yeah. He was in
He's presumably
Stranger Things.
Good looking. Well, Johnny Storm has to be good looking. He's a ladies' man.
I think he's
yeah.
I don't know.
The one picture I saw was very handsome. Yeah.
He was great as I think Eddie in Stranger Things the last season. So I like that choice, and I think he could be pretty charismatic. He kind of won over a lot of people because he was a new character that last season, and he won a lot of people, myself included, over.
Well,
I think he
good
was great
for you, dude.
So that excites me, and Eben Moss-Backrack also excites me because I've seen what he did in Andor. I've seen what he did in The Bear. And yeah, he's really solid performances.
I mean, at some point, yeah.
And I think because of those other roles, he can really tap into that sad loneliness that Ben has.
Well, I mean,
and also be
how
charismatic.
How often do we? Have to be wrong? How often do we have moments where we're like, the casting was wrong, man? Like how many times?
No, and I think Pedro will be great as Reed.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't RDJ when they cast him for Iron Man?
Yeah,
Heath
Ledger with The Dark Knight.
Yeah, so fuck off. Michael Keaton with the Batman, right?
Yeah,
Shit.
I think across.
You know what? Honestly, Ben Affleck with the Batman.
Also, it's kind of perfect. Vanessa Kirby. I mean, Kirby. Come on.
Ooh,
Kind of perfect.
I don't think she's related.
No, I just think it's kind of perfect.
She's great, and she's got that kind of ethereal beauty quality to her. She's striking, if that makes sense. Like Anya Taylor-Joy, she's beautiful, but like in a otherworldly kind of way. She's not like typically.
So this is all we know about.
And she's
it.
played strong female characters before, so
This is all we know about Fantastic Four. We also know that it's going to come out July 25.
Okay.
Which will be in competition with Superman Legacy. So that'll be a fun month. I'm actually looking excited. And you know what? I'm
calling
excited.
it right now. Calling it right now. Superman
will be better.
Yeah. No.
We'll make more money.
Maybe.
Be
yes.
Oh, really? Over Fantastic Four?
I think it will. Yeah, because I think more people. Okay, first things first. The
this
average
is the third crack at this.
The
It's
average
or fourth.
The average movie audience is probably sick of the Fantastic Four, which is why MCU has probably avoided it. Well, they didn't have Fox for a while, but since they got them back, of course they want to do it right. Whatever.
And it's also why I think they're doing what they're doing with the X-Men.
Even shitty Superman and Spider-Man movies make money, dude.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
So I think Superman will probably take home the prize.
We don't know the villain. Do we want to say they're going to try a third time for Doctor Doom, or
it depends on the story they want to
because
tell.
you could.
How are you going to tell where they've been?
You could tie in Doctor Doom, or you could go with Galactus. We've already introduced Celestials.
Let me ask you a question.
That idea
Let me
is
ask you a question. Do you want to try and make
Silver
them from
Surfer?
an alternate universe?
Okay.
That they haven't existed in the
I think I've
MCU?
seen this-
Or
okay.
are we going to try and pretend that they did exist in the MCU somehow?
I've bitched about multiverses so much.
Right.
But hear me out.
And
'Cause I think I saw
doesn't
that-
every multiverse have a Fantastic Four? You know what I mean?
I think I heard about this online somewhere.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Give me the scoop.
But the idea was to have it be a multiverse thing, right? But have Miles Teller be the evil version of Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. What's his name?
The Maker.
Yes.
And he fights Pedro Pascal.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Or the dude from the first Fantastic Four.
Ian Grufford.
Who I think did a pretty good job.
I think he did great.
I don't think he was a that movie's real. Like those movies are real cheesy, dude.
Yeah.
They're just woof. But yeah, and you're right. I do think it's gonna have a little bit a bigger hill to climb for me, because of the fact that I know James Gunn and I'm excited about a new Superman movie and the start of a new universe.
Sure.
But
isn't that the second part of the new universe?
But at the same time, I'm excited about this cast, and I'm interested in this cast because I think everybody that is in these roles are really solid, good actors, and I think it'll be a pretty. I mean,
think the reason why the villain hasn't been announced is because it'll give away the story.
Well, it's like I said, with the X-Men in this, I think they've done a lot to try and slow play this and do this right and get it right.
And I'm grateful
because
for
they've
that.
had so many failures with these properties in the past. So
Obviously,
we'll see what
the X-Men has had more successes than failures.
All right.
But the Fantastic Four has been mostly failures.
Yeah. And man, when they'd miss, they missed.
Oof.
So yeah, speaking of misses, big time misses, Madam Web has crawled her way back into the show.
Good God.
So Madam Web released on Valentine's Day, February 14th. In that 6-day window, it made $25.8 million at the box office. Now, it's not that bad compared to their $80 to $100 million budget, but
that's bad.
That's a 22-year low for Sony. As long as they've had that Spider-Man property, this is the lowest. It's worse than Morph.
Have they figured it out yet?
No,
because they're still releasing
dude,
Kraven.
It does not matter. It does not matter because they will put out anything to fucking keep that license. So that's why this doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. They don't give a shit. Clearly they don't because the same people that wrote Morbius wrote this. And this is somehow worse than that, according to people that have seen both. I have not.
You know what we gotta do for at some point for this
Yeah.
show is when Madam Web comes out, because you know they're gonna try and connect Madam Web and Morbius, or there's some connection there. You know there is, right? At some point
Well,
after Madam
no,
Web comes
can
out
I
on
spoil
streaming.
it for you?
No.
I want to spoil it for you. I'll spoil it for the whole fucking audience. So fuck you if you want to see this. I'm kidding. But seriously, don't worry about it. Because every person across the board has talked about how awful this movie is.
No, I was gonna say that we would
Peter
have to
Parker
watch.
is involved in this movie.
I was gonna say
He's
that
born in this movie. And Madam Web is responsible for keeping Mary Parker alive to give birth to Peter. And Adam Scott is Ben Parker in this. I don't know where Peter's dad is. I don't think he's in it. And the costumes, you only see them once at the end of the movie in a vision of the future. They will not learn their lesson. But here's a full review from someone who's seen it, friend of the show, Ibrahim. He sent this to me. He says, it's a story that didn't need to be told, that nobody asked for or knew of except for Sony's legal team. The only enjoyment you can have is slightly drunk with some friends in an abandoned theater room, since you'll be the only poor bastards that decided to watch this movie and then got ripped straight out of 2000 and not in the Spider-Man 1 kind of way, if you catch what I mean. Wooden as fuck acting with awful delivery, like you're sitting at a line reading and everyone was giving...
tranquilizers.
Yeah. Nothing in this movie is coherent or enjoyable. 1 out of 10. Avoid it. Don't even watch it to make fun of it. If that's your move, then go watch every Sharknado movie instead.
Yeah.
At least those are kind of entertaining.
That's fair. You know what? I was gonna say
I can't believe he went to see that. It fucking blew my mind.
I can't. It's just tough for me to watch that. I know I could watch Morbius, but I don't want to.
No, I tried 3 times to watch that fucking movie. Fell asleep every time. Every time. It was great. I got some great sleep. But I just gave up.
You wouldn't believe the sleep
After
I got.
the 3rd time, I'm like, I don't care enough to fuck. Who cares? Oh, Vulture shows up in the end credits scene. That's fucking confusing. Cool.
Yeah, why? How? Huh? Michael Keaton's Vulture, right?
Yeah. And
or is it Michael Keaton's?
And they were so desperate to get people to see that movie, they fucking photoshopped in that random picture of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man just on the wall, like the graffiti.
What?
In the trailer? You don't remember that?
No.
I'm pretty sure that was edited in post. There's no way. But anyway, yeah, Madam Web sucked. Look. On one hand, I do feel bad for the people involved. I'm sure this was just, but it's just.
Yeah, Adam Scott.
Sony clearly shows they
Dakota
don't. They
Johnson
just
deserves better
don't
than
care,
this.
and they don't have enough creativity to just tell a different Spider-Man story that isn't attached to Tom Holland, even though they have established in 2 blockbuster Oscar-nominated animated movies, Oscar-winning, I think the first one, that there's the Spider-Verse and thousands of Spider characters you can fucking make up. But no, we have to make a Madam Web movie. What are we doing?
She's not even an F-list character in the comics.
Nobody fucking cares. Anyway, what a world. So anyway, to wrap things up tonight, there's a video game out called Helldivers 2.
Mm-hmm.
Very popular. So much so that it's like their servers are like at capacity. Like they don't have the server space. They did not expect the game to be as popular as it is. I have it. I have yet to play it, but I know that it is kind of like a spiritual successor in themes and style of like Starship Troopers, because you're on this place called like Super Earth, and your whole thing is to air quotes liberate and these foreign planets with bugs and robots and shit, and it's really like kind of like a satire on colonialism.
Yeah.
That's the word. And much like Starship Troopers. But because that game is so popular and so comparable and intentional, I think, that people started talking about Starship Troopers. Now, you and I did a retrospective last year. It was the 25th anniversary of that movie. We've talked how much we love that movie.
It's so fucking
We got
good.
our fucking credentials out of the way.
So good.
Okay, so we're super fans. I got a goddamn Steelbook Blu-ray.
It's so good.
Nobody buys Blu-rays but me.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I might watch it when I get home tonight.
Well, anyway,
well, you can, but right now
there's a popular Twitter thread
Uh-huh.
Going around. I don't remember this user's name, and you can find it. I found it. You can find it. Fucking Google shit. Stop looking at me for... Anyway, this thread, because of Helldivers 2, talks about how Starship Troopers was not as good as you think. Watching the movie, so he said it was a bad parody, which I want to get out of the way. It's not a parody. It's a satire. There's a difference. Because a parody, you're spoofing a genre. You're spoofing something. This is satirical.
So satire, the best satire holds a mirror up to its.
And this
up
is
to
how you know it's a
society.
good satire, because the fascists still don't understand that it's fascist propaganda.
Yep.
So watching the movie, it was clear. This is the first tweet. It was clear the director was aiming for a campy, over-the-top depiction of the Terran Empire or Terran Federation. Perhaps not an outright mockery, but certainly a drastic departure from the serious novel. Again, Verhoeven has said he never finished the book. He hated the book because he didn't agree with the politics of it. And he made this as fascist propaganda to mock the book and mock its themes.
Which is funny because the book itself is mocking.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a confusion because he said he never finished the fucking book. So there you go. So then he goes on. First, let's tackle... This one gets me right out of the gate, this first tweet on this thread. First, let's tackle a writing pitfall that irks leftists to this day. If you make your characters naturally handsome, fit, and well-groomed, then it becomes increasingly difficult to properly mock them. Beauty is self-evident, and all characters in Starship Troopers are good-looking. No shit! Paul Verhoeven himself said he wanted them to look sexy and beautiful and wanted the society to look perfect because it's propaganda. He's showing you how it seduces you and how so many people in this country have fallen for that kind of shit.
Dude, when you get down to it, what people fail to recognize is that the way the movie starts and the way the movie ends,
it's desperate.
No, you have just watched a recruiting video.
Yeah.
It's not real.
Would you like to know more?
All throughout the fucking movie, right?
And
it's because you're at one of those stations watching this for an hour and a half or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's lionized. It's
So I kind of touched on this. Next tweet. This extends the overall Terran Federation as well. We see clean, beautiful streets. Life seems good for Rico and his polite high school, and this is a far cry from the crime-ridden and drug-addicted cities we know today, where all the homeless encampments... Where are the homeless encampments, the ghettos? Again, I've already addressed it. That's the whole point. It's propaganda. Everything that is told to you is a lie.
Now, you remember like beer commercials or like Axe body spray commercials, those types of things where it's like, hey, if you do this, women will like you, what have you. That's a very low level and of propaganda. It's not real, but it's meant to seduce you at your basest desires. And so if you're watching this propaganda, everybody's good looking, whether you are or not, you're going to want to be around them good looking people. And that means joining the service.
And you are meant to view it as someone
Being
who
a
lives
fascist.
there.
Yeah. Yes.
You are with Rico that whole time.
This movie is so much deeper than even we realize. And we've watched it a billion times.
But that's the thing that is funny too. So much of this... Yeah. The people, there's so many other people have been coming out and talking about this movie too, and some people are pointing out the beginning of the movie when they're dissecting the bugs, they talk about how perfect it is because it just obeys. They're not.
Blanche from Golden Girls.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a little bit. There's no subtlety at all. The hammer is brought on your head several times. They look like fucking Nazis by the end of the movie, and even Verhoeven is like, "They're Nazis."
They're Nazis, duh. What, you stupid?
Can we nail the Terran... another one. Can we nail the Terran Empire for being cruel? I guess. But when you play off cruelty as a joke, you are undermining your own message. This isn't dialogue about the brutal conditions for training soldiers with soldiers in a futuristic setting. Goodness, this is a gag and it's hilarious. He's talking about his hand gets stuck to the wall. It is funny. All right, what about a critique of comparison? Perhaps the enemies of the Terran Federation have a better system. Oh, wait, no, they're bugs. I've seen people genuinely argue that the bugs are supposed to be sympathetic, but they're still bugs. Listen to what you are saying. You sound like them.
Yeah.
It's got to be a bit, dude, because how else can you not understand the irony of it? And that's what people keep saying. The discourse about this movie
a lot of people in this country do not understand irony, clearly.
It shows you how good it is as a satire and how sad it is that some of these people don't understand the own irony, what they're saying. Yes. That's the point.
Yes.
We engaged with the bugs, and they are losing the war. That's why they're so desperate and be like, hey, we got a fucking brain bug. Like how desperate they are at the end of the movie. And again, it's a war they picked up. They just like Nazis and how the Axis was in World War II. They fucking picked the fight with the wrong people. They fought back and they lost. And they were losing. And that's the kind of propaganda shit you would see.
Yes.
I'm not saying the bugs are fucking perfect. Yeah, they're bugs. But that's the point. Why fucking bother the bugs? What do they do to you?
Oh, yeah, dude. In the waning wars, in the waning days of the theater in Europe, in World War II, yeah, the Nazis were absolutely putting out stuff like, hey, I know it looks bad now, but just wait. A couple days, everything's going to be fucking great, man.
I mean, look at
Führer's going to do some shit, man.
Look at conflicts now with
like,
Putin,
no.
Putin and how he talks
Oh,
about the war
yeah.
effort with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like, you see this shit now. But
he's lying his ass off, dude.
All right, so what about a critique of comparison? Yeah, I already said that one. This.
Come on.
He's talking about the brain bug. This is not a face I can relate to, sympathize for, or even have dialogue with. This screams at me to kill it with fire. Even if I don't want to kill this thing, I want to be in orbit far away from this creature. It's horrific, and only a contrarian can argue against that. It has to be a bit. It has to be a bit. You can't be serious about this.
Also, the face looks like a giant bug.
You typed that out and sent that, and didn't think about how you sound.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. This
has got to be a bit, because if you truly believe this way, man, you really weirdly engage with this. And then finally, the only thing you can really critique about the Terran Federation is the propaganda and incompetence. But when everything is so slapstick, it fails at landing a serious point. These guys are badasses in a funny movie, not a warning about the dangers of fascism.
Badasses in a funny movie?
Do you know almost
movie?
Almost everybody but Rico dies in his team, and he barely survived. He almost died with his getting gashed in his leg.
No, I mean, granted, the three of them end up surviving, but there's a lot of really close friends who are killed along the way.
The love interest gets fucking murdered.
For both of them.
Yeah, both of their love interests, and they're only together because those other two died. What? They don't even like each other.
Yeah, and you know what? By the end of it, it's clear that they're not going to end up together. Because seriously, Rico's like, hey, fuck you, pilot. I'm going to go with my grunts.
Oh, you fucking telepathic Nazis.
Yeah, later, you fuckers. I'll go and fight your shit for you, but don't fucking talk to me.
Truthfully, we've talked about this. Engage with art how you want to engage with it.
Yeah.
But to so confidently say something wrong, and I'm not saying that you can't view it a certain way, but when the director very clearly states this was in my intention, this is what it means. It's kind of hard to argue,
right?
You know.
But you can look. You can argue all you want until you're blue in the face. But what are you really doing when you're being contrarian and whatnot? I don't.
I can't help but think of how much you sound
to fuck with people
like a character. Like you sound like these characters, which is a caricature.
Yes.
You don't sound. And look, do some people probably think this way? And maybe this person does think this way. Fine, that's how you want to engage with it. But I just want you to reconsider how you engage with it, because I feel like you're going to enjoy life more, and you're going to have a lot more fun if you don't be so fucking negative and hate everything and call everything woke and lame and stupid. And
if you don't like it, then just don't watch it.
Don't watch, and it's not an airport, dude. Don't announce your departure like, oh, I'm not watching this. I don't care. I don't care.
Can I tell you some things that I fucking cannot fucking stand? Let's do this. I cannot fucking stand reality television. Fucking Bachelor, all that fucking shit.
I kind of love it. I understand.
Somebody that I know, my mom loves that shit.
It's good shit.
Loves it.
good
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I can get sucked into it if I'm over at her place.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, I get sucked into it. But I don't go on right now. I'm talking about it to prove a point. Never before and never after this will I talk about that because I just don't need to talk about it.
Most of the time, unless we're talking,
I don't need to be on here like talking about how fucking reality TV is destroying society.
I would say,
I don't know.
I would say since we've been doing this, of the things that I've reviewed, I think the thing that I've been the most negative about has been the Halo show, and even then, I have found things to talk about that I like. I've defended fucking Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance on this show. I don't want to go in hating things. That's my broader take on this.
Except for Madam Web.
I would say if people would actually go in with a legitimate open mind and engage with it at all, outside of having, and look, yes, you're gonna have your bias. That's the whole point.
But
because to get somebody to buy something, you have to emotionally make them want to do it.
You
That's why we have trailers and commercials and shit. Exactly. So there's already that agreement that I am emotionally here.
But to prove the point,
if I want to be angry, I'm going to just find everything to bitch about and moan about instead of just engaging with something.
But if somebody were to say, well, what about you and like what about you guys in Madam Web and Morbius?
We just trashed on those movies.
Because they were not good. They were not good ideas. There's nothing artistically redeeming about them. I appreciate all the people who worked on both those movies, but they did not need to be made. They did not need to be made. Okay? So, no, it's not. And besides, they weren't made for artistic reasons.
And it only hurts the people that worked on it.
Yes, they were made for purely fucking
And yes, they had a choice.
monetary
they
reasons.
took a check. I understand that. But like, there's arguments for everything.
Right.
All I'm saying is, I wish more people would go into things with an open mind. And yes, we have emotional bias in some level, yeah, of course.
Right.
But I don't genuinely want to go into a movie hating it. And if I think I'm going to, I'm not going to spend money on it.
What movie did we go to?
You and I said we were not going to go see Madam Web because we didn't want to.
No. But what I think it was Black Adam that we went into it. I didn't go into it hating it. Like, I'm not going to like this. But I do believe I went into it going like, I'm not going to be impressed. And I was actually fairly entertained. The second Shazam movie, I had zero expectations. Not to say negative, just nothing. I was indifferent. I could have cared less. I was thoroughly entertained by the second Shazam movie. So there have been times when I've gone into a movie going like, I'm not going to expect shit, or I don't think this is going to be good. And I have been really entertained. If you're I've never left a theater. I can't.
No, I never left.
Imagine,
even if it was the worst movie, I've never left.
I've fucking still got my popcorn and my soda, dude.
I got my money's worth. I paid to watch a whole movie. I'm watching a whole fucking movie. I don't care how bad it is.
Unless you're showing me like something like completely like reprehensible.
Yeah, of course. Something that's probably
like
illegal.
a shitty movie,
I'm not gonna
right?
watch that.
But like a shitty movie. I'm here. I allotted myself 3 hours today for the whole movie going experience. I got my popcorn and I got my soda. And nobody fucking.
And I'm gonna watch all this stupid shit with Maria Menounos.
And can I? Yeah. And can I just tell you, I don't give a shit if you walked out of a movie ever. I do not care.
Yeah, I don't.
So you spent a bunch of money and then you went and tried to convince some poor fucking teenager who's working to make money for college that they got to give you your money back because the movie was bad when you know they don't have the power to do that? Way to traumatize a fucking high school kid, Melanie Mac. Oh.
Well, that's the perfect end to this. We came off.
I went to Madam Web and saw strong female characters, and I do not believe that is real. It is not touched by God. It's made by Satan. That was her, right?
I feel like that could be a segue to anything. You know, you just.
That was Satan laughing because
You know what Satan says to
because-
you? He looks at you and he says,
I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone.
That's right, man.
and then you say,
Oh, I'm oppressed, oh, poor me.
What did she say?
I'm oppressed, oh, poor me. That's what she desperately wants to say, but
Who was that?
Melanie Mac. That's from the thing earlier.
I know, but wow, she sucks. Just sucks. You just suck, Melanie.
You know what it sounds like?
Real fucked up, kind of bizarre combination of monkey shit.
Yeah.
Why do you hate that one?
It just is long and not really. I don't really dig on it. I don't care about Steve.
Wow, let's just change the whole board for you.
I don't want a bunch of Steven Seagal in my fucking show. Sorry.
In your soup?
Sure. That's what you want to call it?
Sloppy.
That's what I want to call it.
That's fine.
God, I shouldn't have gotten new soundboard stuff, man. It's messing things up.
Why are you trying to find the
We're trying to get
outro
out of
music?
this fucking warp episode.
Trying to get out of this fucking episode that I made in my pants. Made in my pants with a bunch of ants, and we're making pasta for my funeral.
Sir, get off the stage. This is why we don't let the roadie sing.
Me and ants making pasta for my funeral.
What does that mean?
You know what the fuck it means.
Wow. It's a metaphor. It's an allegory.
It's a metaphor wrapped in an enigma, smothered in fucking secret sauce. Get out your thesaurus and fucking solve the riddle, man.
What are you, a fucking English teacher?
Man.
Mr. Allen.
Do you think I'm some sort of... Do you think I'm some sort of nitwit?
Buddy?
This is an Arby's.
Sir, this is a drive-thru.
I told you before, sir, that if you come in here just spouting off like that, I'm going to have to call the cops. So, sorry. Will you please leave?
We got a runner here.
Will you please leave the quick trip?
Whoa!
Stop, leave. Stop.
No!
What the hell happened? Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.